Hello, good evening. It's News 60 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabo.
And my name is Parkus Yasari. Coming up in the next 60 minutes.
360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint
and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil.
7 fishermen from Ada missing after their canoe capsized during a fishing expedition.
Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta urges Ghanaians to support the decision to build Bank of Ghana's new headquarters, describing attack on the central bank leadership over 60 billion cedi loss as needless.
Still ahead in the bulletin tonight, Dom Kwabenya MP Sarah Adwoa-Safo apologizes to governing New Patriotic Party leadership and members. Will bring you reactions from a constituency.
Fisheries and Aquaculture Development Ministry announces 3-year moratorium on new fishing canoes in artisanal fisheries industry from October 1. We will tell you why.
No canoes will be constructed and brought into the system for the next 3 years.
Later in business tonight, the ECOWAS Commission is optimistic a single currency, the ECO, for member countries will be launched in 2027.
The international front, Libyan Red Crescent says death toll following flooding has reached 11,000, with 20,000 still missing.
Right, we've got details of all these stories plus many more coming up in the next 60 minutes. Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook. We're also live on your DSTV channel 279. You can visit our Facebook page, Instagram, and share your views with us.
We begin right here from the Greater Accra region, and 7 fishermen are reportedly missing at Azizanya in Ada. The Ada East District NADMO coordinator Ebenezer Tenate, who confirmed this incident, indicated that 2 fishing canoes carrying a total of 19 fishermen capsized at the estuary while trying to enter into the Volta River. He indicated that all 12 fishermen in one of the boats were rescued, but 7 others are still missing. Those were in the second canoe. He noted that NADMO, together with the Ghana Navy, have embarked on a search and rescue mission. Let's now speak to Ebenezer Kesenate. He is the NADMO coordinator in Ada East. Thank you so much for your time. What is the latest on this canoe accident? Hello. Mr. Nate, can you hear me? So the story is about 7 fishermen from Ada who are reportedly missing at Azizanya after their boat did capsize. The Ada East NADMO District Coordinator Ebenezer Kesenate joins me on the phone. Thank you so much for your time. What is the latest on this developing story? We'll try once again and get through to Mr. Nate Pakwesi.
Right, Portia, reminder, if you just joined us, this is News 360, our major news bulletin for the day. We're streaming live on Facebook. We're also live on your DSTV channel 279. You can join us with your views, comments, and suggestions on any of our top stories this hour. Feel free to visit any of our social media pages on Facebook and on Twitter. Now, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta says attacks on the management of the Bank of Ghana over the 60 billion cedi loss is needless. In a 6-page open letter to Ghanaians following a heavy criticism, the Finance Minister urged Ghanaians to support the construction of the new head office for the central bank.
The pressure on the central bank governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, and the management of the Bank of Ghana has simmered down after the NDC minority postponed their planned demonstration against the Bank of Ghana over the 55 billion cedis loss posted in its 2022 report, and also the ongoing construction of a new headquarters for the country's central bank. Well, amidst all the criticism of the central bank and its management over the losses posted, The Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, in a 6-page open letter to the Ghanaian populace, has described as needless the attacks on the Bank of Ghana management. According to the Finance Minister, under the leadership of Dr. Ernest Addison, assets of the central bank has grown from some 53 billion cedis to up to 126 billion cedis. Revenue from 32 to 96.7 billion cedis, and the country's economy and GDP seen an increase from 219 billion cedis to over 600 billion cedis. These, according to Ken Ofori-Atta, are evidence of the good stewardship of Dr. Ernest Addison. Citing losses from central banks from across the world, Ken Ofori-Atta makes the argument that COVID-19 and the effects of the Russia-Ukraine war is what led the central bank in supporting government expenditure, particularly the example of the United States Central Bank, which has posted losses of up to $52 billion as at April of 2022. For the Finance Minister, the brazen attack on the management of the central bank in the face of all of the global challenges and the examples of other central banks posting losses is the irony of the country's current state of public discourse. He wants a national cohesion and a coming together in support of the work of the Dr. Ernest Addison-led central bank in helping pull the country out of the current economic doldrums we find ourselves in. On the ongoing construction of a new head office for the central bank, Ken Ofori-Atta makes the argument that Ghanaians should support the BOG. He further argues that Ghana seeking to become the financial hub of Africa, even as the headquarters of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, it is necessary and important that we have a modernized infrastructure befitting of our status as a hub of African financial activities. Ken Ofori-Atta reiterates the point that the Ghanaian economy has turned the corner, and for himself and Dr. Ernest Addison, enough sacrifices have been made to see this turn. Hence, is calling for support for the central bank governor in helping to pull Ghana out of the current challenges and set it onto the path towards progress.
All right, so we're going to stay a while longer on this story. It's one of our top stories for the day. Let's go live to Zoom now. Dr. Patrick Asuman is an economist at the University of Ghana Business School. He joins us live on Zoom. Thank you very much, sir, for your time, and good to have you on News 360. So, first of all, what do you make of the Finance Minister strongly jumping to the defense of the Bank of Ghana governor? Indeed, he's right that the decision to construct the new head office was taken way before the DDEP.
Good evening and good evening to viewers. Thanks for having me again. I think that it is quite self-serving and expected that that's the position that the finance minister will take. I mean, so just to be clear, I am not one of those who think that the governor and the deputy should resign over the losses. But I think for the finance minister to be writing and defending is really not what Ghanaians expect of him. But it is expected because if you look at why the Bank of Ghana going into that situation in the first place, it's because of how the finance ministry has run the finances of the economy. If we haven't gotten into a situation where we couldn't pay our debt and didn't need the DDEP, a lot of these losses wouldn't have occurred. So it's not surprising that the finance minister will strongly defend the position of the Bank of Ghana. So that part doesn't surprise me. And I think some of the things that he says in the letter are just not are not just helpful. It's not what Ghanaians want at this moment.
But is it not important, Dr. Asimen, to separate the issues of the DDEP from the decision to construct the new head office building, as I intimated and rightly said by the finance minister, that the decision to build the new headquarters was taken way before the DDEP occurred?
Yeah, I think, if the focus on the new headquarters, for me, it's not really the bigger issue when it comes to the Bank of Ghana's situation right now. Because, yes, it seems outrageous that in the current circumstances, the central bank is building that kind of monument. But as you rightly point out, it is a decision that had been made, and obviously that decision was made at a time where the bank wasn't making the losses that they are making now.
Right.
But
so now let's focus now on the 60 billion loss. So the finance minister first of all talks about the building of the new headquarters, and then goes forward to also talk about the 60 billion city loss, which it says is normal. I mean, when you look across the globe, countries like America, the United Kingdom have all experienced losses as a result of the current economic conditions. And I guess that's where a lot of people will have issues with the finance minister, that indeed his actions are what have led to the central bank's losses. And so for him to come and be justifying this decisions, I bet unfounded.
Yeah, so that's why I started by saying that defense is just self-serving, because he knows why those losses are there. And, when people like myself say the losses shouldn't be the reason for the governor to resign, that's not to say to normalize it at all and to trivialize the matter. It's a serious issue. And you shouldn't be citing other countries and say, oh, look, other countries are making losses, other central banks are making losses, so it is okay for our central bank to make a loss. That's not. What we can understand and explain is, under the circumstances, perhaps the outcome would have been worse if the Bank of Ghana hadn't stepped in. But that in no way justifies the quantum of the loss. We know this is more or less a one-time event. I think it's just not helpful. The Bank of Ghana has provided their own explanation. The people of Ghana have heard. I think the finance minister's justification and explanation, it doesn't do himself or the Bank of Ghana any good.
Indeed, from the grapevine, and it was later confirmed by people like Kwame Pianim, for instance, that once upon a time, the governor had threatened to resign because of undue pressure that was being mounted on him, by the government. So people like Kwame Pianim, for instance, have blamed the finance minister for decisions that he took, for instance, to get the Bank of Ghana to go against its own laws, to lend far more in excess of the 5% that was put in the law.
So, first of all, I mean, that is respected Kwame Pianim speaking. I don't think the Bank of Ghana is ever want to put that kind of defense, because they are under no obligation to kowtow to the finance minister. They are supposed to use their own professional judgment. I will be shocked if the Bank of Ghana came out to give that as an excuse. But one thing we understand is that the monetary policy doesn't sit independently of the fiscal policy. And if you are the governor and you look at the circumstances, you make a professional judgment, you sense that the governor had to choose between two evils: to, absorb the losses from the debt exchange and be in the position we are in, or perhaps decide that, things should just go as normal and let things collapse, which would have been more catastrophic. I think that is an explanation that not that many Ghanaians will find acceptable, but perhaps some economists like myself will find that as okay, not that, it's how it's supposed to be. So you can understand why the central bank might decide, okay, let me accommodate some of these losses. But I think any attempt to trivialize the matter or to say it is normal is completely not acceptable.
Thank you very much, Dr. Patrick Asumen. We really do appreciate your time here on News 360.
In a quick response, Bawku Central MP Mahama Yariga says the finance minister must also resign over the defense of the central bank governor. He tells TV3 the minister has admitted to orchestrating the failings which led to the 55 billion cedi loss posted by the Bank of Ghana.
Nothing good about it that he can be extolling. Absolutely nothing good about it. That they have maintained policy solvency is not a function of their ingenuity. Their policy solvency maintenance is because the law says that they are the ones to make policy. It's as simple as that. And because we are law-abiding, we will still go ahead and comply with policy made by an incompetent governor. That is the only difference. They are not policy solvent because they have proven themselves to be, excellent deliverers of their commitments. So I think that there's nothing that the finance minister can say about the governor today that will save the governor. Indeed, I believe that it's not just the governor who must go. The finance minister, by this statement that he has made, has admitted that he is the architect of what the governor has done, which has destroyed the central bank and destroyed the financial sector. And so, indeed, we must be demanding that the very accountability that we are asking of the governor must be extended to the finance minister. He must equally leave office. We've tried hard to take him out. He managed to survive. And I believe that is why he can sit and utter the kind of things that he's uttering today, admitting glaringly that the central bank is now in cahoot with the government and will print money for the government if government desires more money, because reportedly that is the new direction of central banks.
Right, I remember you're still watching News 360, our major news bulletin for the day. Let's do some politics now. And residents of some electorates, in Dom Kwabenya say they cannot forgive Sarah Adwoa for failing them after sacrificing for her to become their Member of Parliament. The New Patriotic Party supporters claim the MP is pleading for another chance to lead the party at the constituency level following her apology to the party leadership, including President Akufo-Addo. The news team was at the constituency.
Adwoa's prolonged absence from Parliament in 2022 sparked nationwide debate as she left the country following the 2022 budget passage on November 26, 2021. She was referred to the Privileges Committee by Speaker Alban Gbagwin due to her 15-day absence. The majority argued for a seat to be declared vacant, paving the way for a by-election, while the minority strongly disagreed. The Privileges Committee recommended that her seat be declared vacant due to her inability to provide an explanation for her absence. But the Speaker stated that the committee's report must be presented to the entire House. The ruling was criticized by Osei Chairman Sabunsu, who deemed it unfortunate and inconsistent. She returned from the US and resumed her duties as Member of Parliament on November 11, 2022. But her appointment as Gender, Children and Social Protection Minister was revoked by President Akufo-Addo on July 29, 2023. Following her return, she began preparations for re-election in the upcoming NPP parliamentary primaries.
Still have a lot to do for my people, and I have to take the pain to explain to them the reasons for my absence. When the time comes, I shall not desert my people. I shall represent them again by God's grace. And I think that my people still love me.
The former gender minister has apologized to the party for causing controversies during her extended absence from parliamentary duties, stating that her actions were unjustified and expressed regret in a Facebook video.
My party for the New Patriotic Party, any party paying for.
I want to use this opportunity and apologize to my party, the New Patriotic Party, NPP, and my party leaders. I want to apologize for the behavior I exhibited sometime in the past. What I did was not intentional, and it was not planned for me to disrespect you.
She explained that the emotions she expressed were fueled by the intricate personal challenges she was grappling with in her personal life.
There was so much going on in my life and in my family. I take this opportunity to plead with you all.
The MP's apology has been met with varied reactions on social media and her constituents.
For me, there's no any forgiveness because it's getting closer to the election year, so I think it's one of those things of politicians.
You cannot just leave your work and go somewhere and come back to say sorry.
As I see a timid example, Mobia or careful.
Me, I don't accept his apologize.
Noble Crosby Anna, TV3 News, Accra.
In more news tonight, lawyers for a private citizen who sued the Electoral Commission have accused the Commission of evading service of a contempt application. Despite multiple attempts to serve the writ, the Commission has initiated the limited voter registration despite several injunction applications aimed at halting the process.
For Precious Aita took over 2 hours to gain access to the Electoral Commission's premises. The court bailiffs were obstructed by security personnel who denied they had been instructed to allow entry.
We are told that no official is in there. They are all gone out to supervise from the chairperson to even people at legal. This is a contempt application, so the contempt application, the rule is that the person who is a respondent to a contempt application has to be served personally. After trying to serve someone personally 3 times or more, if you are unsuccessful and subsequent service will be impracticable or lead to undue delay, then your only recourse is to apply to the court for substituted service of that application.
The client, Precious Aita, had filed an injunction application against the ongoing limited voter registration. The Electoral Commission's decision to hold the exercise at its district offices and not electoral areas was a major concern for the applicant, along with earlier suit by 5 political parties, which did not stop the Commission from implementing its plan.
The reason why she's evading the contempt service is that she knows with the contempt service she will have no excuse when she comes before the court as to why she's continuing. Once you are served with the contempt process, the next step is that the court will jail you if you continue with the very thing that we are seeking to stop you from doing. And that is why she's evading the step. But we can assure her that we are not deterred. We will go back to the court, we will get hopefully the court order for substituted service, and we will come back. So whatever she does, she can run, but she cannot hide.
The applicant's legal representatives plan to continue until Jane Mensah and her deputies are held accountable and seek custodial prison sentences as a remedy.
After we serve the issue with the contempt application, let us see what their reaction will be. If they continue with what they are doing, our clients will weigh the options we have in respect of whether maybe good Samaritans can assist or whatever it is to maybe get her to the center. We will look at all those options. But she will not lose out on her right. But we will still hold the matter accountable for her actions. So either way, we will still ensure that the law is respected.
The opposition National Democratic Congress has argued that the Electoral Commission's actions could have severe consequences.
The intervention-happy ECOWAS countries, they better act to stop civilian coup d'etats from happening. They shouldn't close their eyes on this flagrant disregard of the principles of democracy and rule of law, only to jump in when somebody overthrows that system.
The limited voter registration ends on October 2. Christian Yale, TV3 News.
Let's go back to our earlier story where 7 fishermen are reportedly missing at Azizanya in Ada. The Ada East District NADMO coordinator Ebenezer Tenate, who confirmed the incident, indicated that 2 fishing canoes carrying a total of 19 fishermen capsized at the estuary while trying to enter into the Volta River. Let's speak to Ebenezer Kise Nate. He is the NADMO coordinator of Ada East. Thank you so much for your time. What is the latest on this canoe accident?
Well, we still, yes, let me say the number still stands 7 that are missing. Initially, we had a call this morning that some boats got accidents while trying to cross to land safely at the shore. When we got there, we found out that these 2 canoes were involved. The name of the first one is Shalom, which had 11 people on board. Out of the 11, 10 people were saved, and we had 1 person missing. The second boat is called Barcelona, and it also had 8 people on board. And as at the time we got there, all the 8 were missing. But later we found that 2 people were saved at a community called Kwaveme. This Kwaveme is a community along the shores of Volta region. So yes, families went and then picked their people. But the other 6 in the second boat are still missing. The boat itself, the arbor motor, their fishing nets, everything is missing. So search is ongoing. And that boat together with Ghana Navy are doing the searching. And so tomorrow we continue with the search. And then the next day after tomorrow, the search will continue.
Do you know what may have caused this accident?
It is as a result of the strong waves coming from the sea. The sea is very rough. And after the time we got the call, we were told there were so many fishing boats on the sea, awaiting the sea to become a little bit smooth for them to be able to land safely. And so as at 12 p.m., none of the boats that went to fishing yesterday was able to land. But as we speak, I will not be able to say whether they have come to land safely or not. Okay. The 2 that think they had the experience and they'll be able to land safely were the people that involved in the accident. So as we speak, I cannot say the number of boats that went to fishing yesterday and whether they are able to land as at now or not. But I'll get back to you with an update as whether they have landed or not tomorrow.
So with rescue efforts, how long will this continue?
Yes, we will give ourselves up to 3 days.
3 days.
Because after 3 days, I don't think anybody that drowned in the water will be alive. And looking at the forces from the sea, if we are not able to find somebody today or tomorrow, it means that the person will not be alive. But we are still hoping that up to tomorrow we find people alive.
Okay.
So search will continue tomorrow. And one thing is that the sea is also rough. So today Navy is not able to cross to the sea. You know, the estuary is made up of 2 water bodies, the sea and the river. And so the force at the meeting point is too high that the Navy cannot cross to the sea to do searching. And so tomorrow, if the condition, the state of the sea is a little bit smooth, it means that Navy will be able to cross to do searching on the sea.
Just before you go, what advice would you give to fishermen around that area?
Yes, we only advise that they have to be careful. You know, they are always close to the sea, and they know sometimes the sea can be rough. So as soon as they see that the sea is rough, they have to be very careful. 1, not to travel. 2, not to attempt to fish on the sea. That is all that we have to tell them. And also we are sending this message to all the communities along the coast that in case they may find somebody, they should let Adan Ladbo know, so we will come for the person. Thank you very much. Thank
you for your time. Ebenezer Kisenate is the Ada East District NADMO coordinator.
A reminder, you're watching News 360. Still to come. 3-year moratorium on new fishing canoes in the artisanal fisheries industry from October 1. We'll tell you why.
will be constructed and brought into the system for the next 3 years, taking into consideration the fact that we must sacrifice today to feed the future.
There's more coming up shortly, including the very latest in the world of business.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint as compared to other paint brands on the market. We take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
Choose Sukasa for the highest quality, luxurious townhouses in East Lagoon Hills. 2, 3, and 4 bedroom in a gated community starting at $40,000 in Accra, Ghana. Sukasa, building on trust.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, SoftCare always stays with you.
New SoftCare Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
SoftCare. Protect your leap.
Oktoberfest is here again. Ghana's premier 5-star hotel and your CMG hospitality facility of the year. Labadi Beach Hotel brings you another exciting edition of the biggest beer festival in the world, Oktoberfest 2023. Performing live is the Bayern Boys Band from Germany. Catch all the fun with German traditional food and beer at the plush Labadi Beach Hotel on the 6th and 7th of October 2023. For enquiries and reservations, please call 0302-772-501 or 0249-532-866. Oktoberfest Beer Festival. Come, let's party! Stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Day men, strong and refined, the skincare you deserve. Dream.
In more news tonight, the Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Mavis Hawakumson, has announced a 3-year moratorium on new fishing canoes in the artisanal fisheries industry from October 1, following a stakeholder meeting in Accra. The move is to preserve and sustain Ghana's fisheries resources.
Ghana's fish stock has significantly declined due to overfishing. The number of fishing canoes increased from 8,000 in the 1990s to over 12,000 in 2023, while annual small pelagic fish landings, the backbone of the artisanal subsector, decreased from 199,000 metric tons to 20,000 metric tons. Sardinella auratus annual landings decreased from 119,515 metric tons in 1992 to 11,834 metric tons in 2019, impacting the livelihoods of over 3 million people along the values chain.
This means that no canoes will be constructed and brought into the system for the next 3 years.
The 3-year moratorium on new canoe entrants into the artisanal fisheries industry is a crucial step towards sustainability, addressing the pressures on fisheries resource, and ensuring a balance between fishing activities and resource conservation following the implementation of the close season.
Taking into consideration the fact that we must sacrifice today to feed the future.
The measures are to reduce overfishing and recover fish populations with the aim of fostering a sustainable and environmentally responsible marine sector through these combined efforts.
This is brought to you by MTN.
A lot's been happening in the world of business. Michael Bodu is warming up to bring us the very latest. Michael, what's happening in business tonight?
Well, basically, the ECOWAS Commission is quite confident that they will be able to meet the 2027 deadline for the eco currency to take effect.
All right, give us the detail.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to the business segment here on News 360. My name is Michael Obodu. Straight into our first story, as the ECOWAS Commission has reiterated the single currency for member countries, the ECO will be launched in 2027. President of the Commission says despite shortfalls of member countries in meeting the convergence criteria, the Commission remains committed to launch the ECO in 2027. He was speaking at the opening of the 45th meeting of the Board of Governors of member states in Accra.
The ECOWAS single currency has been a major topic of discussion at the ongoing 2023 mid-year statutory meetings of the West African Monetary Zone, its institutes, as well as the sub-region. While some member states have questioned the feasibility of the 2027 deadline, others remain optimistic member states will meet the convergence criteria. Presenting a paper on behalf of the ECOWAS chair, Mambure Ninje, representative of the President, said the Commission remains committed to launch the ECO in 2027.
The progress made so far in the implementation of the roadmap for the ECOWAS single currency program would not have been possible without your active support and participation. As we move closer towards 2027 deadline for the establishment of the ECOWAS Monetary Union, we rely on you for your enhanced support and cooperation towards the effective and timely implementation of the activities outlined in the roadmap for the launch of the ECO.
Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, expressed optimism in the single currency and added 2024 will be a critical year for member countries ahead of the launch of the ECO due to the challenges in the convergence by member countries.
It is clear from just a glimpse at that report that no country within the zone is likely to meet any of the 4 primary convergence criteria this year. This makes next year a critical year in the lead up to the launch of the ECO under the roadmap in line with the new macroeconomic convergence and stability path.
The 45th joint meeting of the Committee of Governors of the West African Monetary Institute and the West African Monetary Zone is expected to allow member countries share goals of economic stability, financial resilience and sustainable development within the sub-region.
An energy strategist has retreated calls for a clear-cut strategy to cushion fuel consumers amid rising prices at the pumps. Speaking to 3 Business, Dr. Yusuf Sulemana, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Eureka Energy Solutions, stressed the need to protect consumers from the impact of constant rise in fuel prices on the global market. The following report has more story.
The Institute for Energy Security, IES, has forecasted price increases in fuel and liquefied petroleum gas for the next 2 weeks ending September. Gas oil and LPG prices are to go up by 1% to 4% effective this weekend. CEO of Eureka Energy Solutions wants a sustainable strategy from government to cool the local pumps.
Are we going to be living by this international dynamics where we always move by the wind? No, I think we have to have a clear strategy as a nation, whereby when these dynamics hits, we should be shielded. And we have called time with that number, that whilst the upstream will benefit, we're going to be hit hard by the downstream side.
These increases the IES has attributed to an increase in international market price of gas oil by 3.33% and LPG by 2.95%, coupled with a marginal depreciation of the cedi against the US dollar by about 0.97% on the forex market.
One would have hoped that this driver of the upward trajectory in these commodity prices would have been demand, or should have been demand. But it is clear that in this case, the demand has almost always, like what I say, it has plateaued. Because what hitherto was driving demand was China, and China consumption hasn't picked up in levels that were expected.
Consumers are to brace for the impending increments.
The Food and Drugs Authority is exploring diverse means of funding the production of local vaccines. At its first scientific forum held in Accra, CEO of the authority, Dr. Delise Darkon, said the authority will partner with industries to ensure Ghana becomes a manufacturing hub in Africa.
Industry, academia, manufacturers, you, the media, you are our partners. First conversation we're having is Ghana wants to become the vaccine manufacturing hub for West Africa. How are we going to be able to support them? So we brought people from the universities, we brought people from research institutions, we brought people from manufacturing industries to have one conversation. They all need to be in the same room. They all need to be able to bring out their points, bring out their challenges, bring out their innovations, and discuss to see how this reality of His Excellency the President, to ensure that we become a vaccine manufacturing hub, we need to make sure that we can do it and we can sustain it. So that right from research and development up until the vaccines are manufactured, where we will be monitoring the quality and safety, all the players in this, all the partners are in one room discussing how to make it sustainable.
Well, that will be all for the business segment here on News 360. Our website 3news.com has more stories for you. My name is Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay safe. Up next, the sports.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
Pepsodent introduces charcoal and lemon essence. The unique combination of natural essences whitens teeth naturally for you and family, because every smile matters.
New Pepsodent Herbal. Introducing a unique combination of herbal extracts in an antibacterial toothpaste for strong teeth and healthy gums that protects your family and you. Every smile matters.
ECG is now cashless. My studio lights are always on. I never run out of power. With the ECG Power app, I'm able to report an issue, check my credit, buy power, all in real time whenever I need to. I don't worry if ECG vendors are closed. In the comfort of wherever I may be, I still keep my lights on thanks to the ECG Power app. You can simply use mobile money wallets, Visa or MasterCard. It does not attract e-levy. With the ECG Power app, you're totally covered. To download, go to the App Store or the Google Play Store. You don't have a smartphone? Don't worry. No internet? Don't worry. No data? Do not worry. Just dial *226#. This is what I call convenience in your hands. ECG Power app. A yes simple pa.
With Glovo, you order anything you want, and when you receive it, you celebrate it with your whole body. Because when that tasty grilled chicken is here, the weekend starts. The ingredients for your favorite recipe just in time. And when the cake arrives, the party is on. Because receiving anything on Glovo deserves a dance. Download the app, order anything you want, and track it minute by minute until it arrives. Glovo. Order anything, we deliver in minutes.
By Bell Pack Tissues.
And Oreko is here to update us in the world of sport. Oreko, the Ghana Premiership is returning soon.
Yeah.
In a few hours, of course.
Yeah, we're all excited, waiting for the new season. And so let's head straight into it, because in the next few hours, the Ghana Premier League returns with renewed rivalries, goals, and intense action. Here's a preview to the 2023-2024 season.
Will kickstart the campaign against Real Tamale United in Tamale on Friday as they look to bounce back from a disappointing run last season. The Phobians have struggled in previous fixtures against RTU away from home. However, GPR statistician Felix Remarque expects a positive result from the Accra-based side.
I think that they've had very good preparations when it comes to the preseason games and how well they've played. It's a huge game. They kick off the season on Friday, and I'm sure they will want to start with a very huge win. But we shouldn't forget the fact that they are going to a venue where they have not been able to win in the last two seasons. So it's a huge test for them. But I feel they are facing an RTU team which is a bit weakened. So as a folks should really up their game and get a very good season this year. I am not expecting them to win the league, but I'm expecting them to improve on what they did last season.
Current champions Midiama SC will be under huge pressure to retain the title. Some neutrals are skeptical about their chances after captain Kwesi Dontu and others completed moves abroad. But GPR analyst Mohamed Shaban believes the Mauve and Yellows can still compete.
Jonathan Soa, who has had national team call-up, is also there. Amidou Fatal, the left back, is available. They've gone in for Kamara Dini Mahmoudou from Tamale City. God knows Jakpasu has also joined the team. They've gone in for one of the top strikers in Division 1, Osatete Bernardino from Atram Divisa. He's also back in the team. He's also going to adapt to something to the team. Baba Hamadou is also one of the good centre-backs in the team. Then Kofi Asma, he has had a good time with the team. So the entire Midiama Sporting Club players are all available, and that puts a lot of pressure on other opponents.
Who will ultimately take home the trophy in 2024? Only time will tell.
Now from the Ghana Premier League, let's head to the national team. The Black Stars finished the international break in September on a high, getting 2 straight victories and securing qualification for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. My colleague Yao Fosu takes a deeper look at the performances of some individuals.
Ghana may have qualified for next year's Africa Cup of Nations and won another friendly against Liberia at the Accra Sports Stadium. But there are a few players who may need to put in extra work in their clubs to get a look in for the tournament. Iñaki Williams will be one of the players everyone will be looking at. The Athletic Bilbao attacker has come under scrutiny for his inability to get goals for the Black Stars. Iñaki was one of the players who switched allegiance to represent Ghana right before the World Cup. He has since struggled to make an impact for the team, and fans have begun to grow impatient with his style and in the areas where the coach deploys him. Iñaki, however, will be crucial to Ghana's cause in Ivory Coast, but he will have to earn his place in the Black Stars team, with Antoine Semenyo knocking heavily on the doors with some great performances for the team so far. Kudus is Ghana's star. 2 goals in the last 2 games for the Black Stars and 10 goals in 26 for the team shows that his move to West Ham has been crucial for him. He will, however, have to fight for a place in an already stacked team. He will certainly be a starter for Ghana in games, but first, he will need to tie down his place at club level. Ghana's left-back position is a curious case. Baba Rahman has been pilloried in that position for years. Last Thursday in the game against the Central African Republic, he was humiliated by the Kumasi crowd and is under huge pressure to deliver. Gideon Mensah has come in as well, but has not quite tied down his place as a first choice. Houghton will be looking far and wide for a player who can shore up that area of defense. PAOK Thessaloniki will have to get the best out of Baba and Auxerre with Mensah as well. Many other players will have to be at their best for their clubs to get a chance to be on the plane to Ivory Coast. As the Cup of Nations awaits, the Black Stars will head there to try one more time.
Or before that AFCON comes around, the team would have begun their 2026 World Cup qualifiers, which starts mid-November, where they have to play Madagascar at home and then travel to face Comoros. But before we wrap up the sports segment, let's just go through some more news where 6 players who helped Manchester City win the treble in the 2022-2023 season. Julian Alvarez, Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, Rodri and Bernardo Silva make up half of the 12 players in contention for the prize, alongside Lionel Messi as well. Well, that's how we're wrapping up the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Ore Kuampofo. We have more news for you after this break.
Are you tired of struggling with bad financial situations? At Quick Credit, we understand the difficulties that come with transitioning to a better one. That's why we're here to simplify the process for you. With loan facilities from 1,500 cedis upwards, all you have to do is call and we will take care of the rest. All you need is your national ID. No savings, no collateral, no susu, no deposits, and no account opening required. Quick Credit has you covered. Whether you're expanding a business, starting a new one, facing an emergency like school fees or funeral expenses, or even just in need of a salary loan. What are you waiting for? Call Quick Credit today. 0302 200 390 or 059 692 0833. We do not give loans via the internet. Quick Credit is regulated and licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
Water is life. Water gives life. Water moves through nature in a never-ending cycle. Observe the beauty of water as it flows all around us, refreshing and restoring. Gaze in wonder at the stillness and beauty of nature. There's harmony in nature everywhere around. Water revitalizes the body and keeps you going strong. Water is life. Water gives life. Drink Awake Purified Drinking Water. One for life. So relax and unwind, and in the calmness of nature, find the rest you desire. For every bottle of Awake you buy, an amount to be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA. News segment is brought to you by Awake Purified Drinking Water. GTP, still timeless. Vodafone, further together. And powered by 3 Entertainment.
It's time now for the very latest in the world of entertainment. Anita joins me. She's been fighting me all day. What did I do to you?
Really? Really? Pakwesi. Should we get into the details?
Let's get into the details of entertainment news.
All right, my name is Anita Ikia Ekufu, and in entertainment this evening, known for his unique blend of Afrobeat and global hits, Mr. Eazi has unveiled 16 pieces of art connected to tracks from his forthcoming album titled The Evil Genius. Speaking to 3 Entertainment at the album listening, Mr. Eazi says the project is aimed at finding one's true self.
I don't need advice. Talk with them, talk, I know, pay attention, them no be my size. Came from the back door straight to the front door. I know that this guy's so.
The multi-sensory experience was unveiled at the Gallery 1957 inside the Kempinski Hotel Gold Coast by award-winning artist Mr. Easy, who is ready to take his fans through the realms of music of African origin and contemporary visual arts. This captivating project, titled The Evil Genius Collection, marks a historic body of music and art that promises to break artistic boundaries like never before.
I'm on that story of my life. Came from the back door straight to the front door. I know that this guy's.
It's the first of its kind, a fusion of contemporary African arts and music with songs like Jamboree, Legalize, Lack of Communication, and Chop Time, No Friend.
Chop time, no friend. If I did chop my moolah, I know they look another man face.
Speaking exclusively to 3 Entertainment, Mr. Easy shed light on the inspiration behind the album. According to him, it touches on defying all odds and staying true to oneself.
The entire project is about connecting African music and African arts. And I think African music, as everybody knows, is having a time globally. And I think the same thing is happening for African art. But I sought to bring my fans together, and this project is about presenting the music and the art at the same time. But beyond that, the title The Evil Genius is about, you know, leaving the obsession of other people's opinion about you and looking inward to yourself and say, what is my character? And in order to do that, I had to accept sort of like the worst version of myself and forget about what everybody is saying and say, who am I? And so when you go through the songs on the album, at the end of the album, you should be able to say, okay, this is who Easy is.
Talking about the various tracks on the album, what would you say is your favorite song, or the song that you feel like this speaks to who you are?
I think it is between Oluwajo and Exits. You know, all of them, I can't say one of them, but if I say what is the summary of the album, is the first and last song. So if you listen to the first and last song, you'll see the essence of who I am.
And all is set for the grand finale of the 2023 Miss Tourism Ghana pageant. And as part of the build-up to the September 15 grand finale, delegates walked the runway to showcase stylish designs pieced together by Guinean fashion creatives at the 2023 Miss Tourism Fashion Show.
The 2023 Miss Tourism Fashion Show served the platform to showcase original, innovative and trendy designs created by young Guinean fashion creatives. Delegates of the 2023 Miss Tourism Ghana took turns to walk the runway advertising various stylish, elegant and well-fitted designs. A major highlight was the sustainable fashion round, which saw contestants catwalk in diverse designs with matching bags and accessories created out of old clothes. Delphine Brew Hammond is the CEO of Miss Tourism Ghana.
Oh, I think the girls did very well. I think the designers did well as well. A friend of mine from the States came to Ghana and he was very focused on the way all our landfills were full of second-hand clothes.
My name is Anita Ikia Ikufu. Thanks for your time and have a good evening.
Coming up, international news.
The Libyan Red Crescent says the death toll following the flooding has reached 11,000, with 20,000 still missing. The Red Crescent added there are 2,000 bodies in the sea. Workers are still pulling bodies from the water and the rubble in Derna, where 2 dams burst on Sunday. There are fears up to 20,000 people may have died, with more than 5,000 deaths already confirmed. The UN's World Meteorological Organization says most of the thousands of deaths could have been avoided. The World Health Organization, WHO, has said it will release $2 million from its contingency fund to support the emergency efforts in Libya.
Well, that's how we conclude News 360, our major news bulletin for the day. Thanks for being a part of this journey. My name is Parkus Yasari. For more news, do well to visit our website. It's www.3news.com.
I am Portia Gabo. Have a lovely evening.